Welcome back to Breakfast Television. Well, it's the time of year many families are starting to gear up for back to school, and one of the main pieces of gear is, of course, a backpack. But if it doesn't fit right, it can be harmful to your child's health. So here to help us, but pick out the best one, is Pediatric Physiotherapist Julia Brooks and Emerson. Good morning to both of you. Thank you so much for being here. So, Julia, where do we start? I mean, I guess it comes with buying the right backpack, right?
Yeah, so there's lots of things that you want to look for when you're looking for a backpack. Several different things. One would be looking for a wider strap with padding in it. You want to look for a backpack that has multiple pockets so that you can pack your bag appropriately. Ideally, if you can find a pack that has a chest strap and a waist strap, that would be ideal. A lot of kids' packs don't have that.
Right.
So that's sort of, you know, an extra bonus, but if you can't find that, it's not the end of the world.
Okay, what does that do if you do find that strap?
It just helps to redistribute the load so that you're not taking, it's not pulling you back as much. You can take some of the load through your chest and through your hips, and that helps to offload your back and your neck and your shoulders.
Perfect. And where does it fit on the body?
Yeah, so
do we have Emerson demonstrate that for us? Yeah,
so
this is the correct fit we're looking for.
Ideally, what we're looking for is that you want the top of the pack at the top of the shoulder, and the bottom of the pack should hit sort of right at the waist.
Okay.
And ideally, the width of the pack should be about the width of the child.
Oh, okay.
A lot of kids like to wear their backpacks like this.
Right.
Not so good. Make sure those straps are tightened up so that it's nice and high on her back.
Okay, and then certainly not the one-shouldered sling over.
Not the one-shoulder sling over. Then you're all crooked.
Right, and you're all crooked, for sure. Okay, so that's all about the correct fit. And then what happens when you start packing it full of all that stuff?
Yeah, so ideally, when you pack your backpack, you want to have things that are heavier, so things like textbooks closer to your body.
Okay.
And then things that are lighter, so, you know, we all have our, pencil cases and our cell phones. We want to pack those things further away from the body. And that's just because if we pack the heavier things closer to the body, it allows the core muscles to work better and not work as hard. Whereas if the heavy items are on the outside of the pack, it kind of pulls you back. You have to work a lot harder with those muscles.
Oh, okay. All right. That sounds very interesting. So we really have to pack it properly, and that's where all those pockets come in handy, right?
Absolutely.
Now, what about things like the big items, like the running shoes and the water bottles that could be full? Is there a special spot for those?
Well, ideally, again, the heavier items should be closer to your body. So ideally packing, like, say, your running shoes or things like that closer in those bigger pockets. The water bottles are always a little tricky. I often recommend that you don't fill them all the way before you pack them and fill them at school. If you can, a lot more schools are getting water fill stations and things like that.
Right.
Just because you want to limit the amount of weight you're having to carry.
Okay. Now, we always talk about the perfect formula. Is there a formula that we should be looking for when it comes to how much weight a child can actually carry?
Ideally, you're looking for about 15% at the maximum for their body weight. So if you have a 100-pound child, you're looking for no more than 15 pounds in a pack. And that really starts to add up pretty quickly, especially in our teenage or junior high kind of population.
For sure. So would you actually recommend, like, having your child load that pack up and putting it on the scale?
It wouldn't be a bad idea given the kind of backpacks I see coming into my office.
Right.
Sometimes you're shocked at how heavy these things actually are when you start, like, picking them up.
Yeah. I'm even shocked when I pick my kids up from school and I'll grab their backpack for them sometimes. I'm like, whoa, this is really heavy.
They are very heavy.
So would you also recommend that a lot of kids leave some of that stuff at school if they can?
Ideally, anything that you can leave at school, so indoor shoes, if you can leave your water bottle at school, if you can leave any extra textbooks that you don't need to study that day at school, anything that doesn't need to come home or doesn't need to come back to the school, ideally leave those where they are.
Right. Okay, and very quickly, if you aren't doing these things, what kind of problems are you seeing at the hospital in these kids?
So the main things we see are a lot of shoulder, neck problems, which can often lead to headaches. Posture issues are terrible, both because they're a student, but also because these packs are so heavy. So we do get kids with a lot of shoulder, neck, headache kind of pain.
Wow, and that can be serious stuff, especially when you're trying to treat it, right?
It can, yeah. It can take a long time to get better, and it takes a lot of problem solving and a lot of work on the kids' part to do exercises and improve those things. So it's better just to prevent it in the long run.
Okay, very good. Julia, thank you so much. Emerson, thanks so much for being here and showing off your backpack for us.
Thank you.